All right, I'm getting ready to start. I've already moved up the speaker and I've moved up the internet box. So, and I've cleaned out the cabinets. I need to sweep, but I'll sweep after I finish framing because there'll be a lot more sawdust and little stuff all over. So I'm fixing to get started on framing it. But the frame will go all the way up and around. So there'll be two sides completely all the way up. This side all the way up, all the way across the top, across the bottom, and there'll be one here. Whether it makes a lip here or whether it sits down in here, that will determine where the top of the door comes to. But I know the door, I'm going to make the door here. Even if the bottom doesn't get framed because the door hangs a little bit longer, I do not want to pull this cabinet out. And now, honestly, if I was doing it for somebody else, I would have, well, if I was doing it for somebody else, I'd probably be building it from scratch. And therefore, this would be the exact size for this door. But since this is going to have to be retrofitted for the door, I do not want to have to pull the cabinet out, pull everything off the cabinet, unplug everything, unscrew the plugs. It's a power strip right there with plugs. I don't have to do all that. I just want to trim it and hang the door and put the quilts. So if the top of this door comes to right here or somewhere here, that's not what I mean. I want the top of this door to come here. So no matter what happens down there, if the door's a little big or a little small, if it's a little small, I'll add trim. If it's a little big, I might not put trim down there. That way it free hangs just below. Once the door is shut and the quilts are in there, you'll never think about the fact that the door is a little bit longer than the actual bottom shelf down there. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you'll see it when I'm done. You'll see how I have to do it. So I'm going to get started on it now, and I'll try to show y'all as I go. I won't be taking you out to the shop. I'll more than likely, since it's just some cuts on some 1x3s, which is this frame, I'm probably going to bring my saw to the front door and just cut right there on the porch and come in and screw it up. And I'm not going to stain it till it's up. I'm not going to go out and stain it now, then come. I'm going to put it up now, stain it when it's up. It'll be real simple to throw some stain on it. Yeah, and then I'll have it done. So give me a second to get everything together. All right, so this is trial and error. I put it on the front. All right, let's just say this. Here's one. Had it like this, okay? It wasn't going to work that way. So now, from what I could tell when I held it up there, these needed to be wider. That's what I've done. So far, I've screwed this now. It's not screwed in up there. It needs to be screwed in up there. But I'm not worried about up there at this minute because I need to work from here down with this door. Then I will get the door on, make sure it looks good, and then I will go up there, screw that in there. See, I'll have to put this one on this side so it matches, and then I'll put some top trim up there. I'll screw that tight up there, and then I'll put trim piece across the front, and it may need a trim piece right here across this one right here. So we'll see. But I've got two little pilot holes started right here for the first hinge. If I can get it up in there, and you know, I'm on my own here. There's nobody to hold it up for me. So I got that part done. Once I get that first screw on, then I will find something to sit under this edge down here of the door to keep it in the right height. And then I will screw the other hinges in. So, like I said, trial and error, because the other way was not working. This way is the way it looked like it needed to work. So we're gonna see how it plays out. Give me a second. Okay, so I ordered some hinges. And I'm going to tell y'all, the last time I was looking for hinges for Daniel's little doors for his cabinet, Home Depot's hinge department was just nothing. And what I'd seen online, I thought, okay, that's where I'm going to go. So I'd look, you know, exactly where it's at, like how they have, you know, aisle 16, bay 3. You know, I'm just making that up. But I mean, they have a description of where this thing is located. And when I got there, they had one. So they didn't have as many as they said they had in stock. Or either somebody had bought them all by the time I got there. So I don't know who needed little bitty hinges that morning. But anyway, so I thought, you know what? Before I go to Home Depot and waste a day, these hinges were here. I ordered them yesterday. They came today. So they're just these. Like this. Just very old-fashioned, like a hammered, see, it's like a hammered metal hinge. Very antique looking. And it came with little screws. So I've already got one in here. I drilled a pilot hole. And I used this as my guide. Put this to the edge. And then I just when that touched, then I knew that's where I wanted my hinge. You can measure anywhere you want. But I didn't want it too close up here to this seam. So I'll do the same thing, get this in down here, and then I will start rearranging that cabinet right there because it's not working out the way I planned. And it's not that I've done anything wrong. It's just the hinges that came on this cabinet were not allowing for it to open it. Even though I had them hinged up and it was closed, it would only open so far. And I'm thinking, okay, that's not going to work because these hinges are made for a different type of cabinet and a different kind of application. So I just scratched it all for the day. And then I'm starting up again today because the hinges came in yesterday. So I will show y'all how it looks once I get it back up. All right, it's framed out. It's hard to see from here. Let me get back this way. I know the ladder's in the way because I haven't stained it yet. But I've put the trim all the way around the edges, the front edges. And then, because it goes up and over and down, and then there's two pieces there. And then that's the door right there, and there's shelves behind it. And I haven't yet, like I think I said it in another video, I'm not for sure if I'm going to take the shelves out. Because if I ever decide that I don't want to use it as a quilt cabinet, then I don't have to put shelves back in. So I could just fold two and put them on a shelf, fold two, put them on a shelf, just sort of like that. And that's what I have in my mind. Anyway, we'll see how it goes, but I'm fixing to put some stain on it real quick. Okay, I'm fixing to turn this camera, and y'all are gonna see something so pretty. I'm slowly turning. Look at my quilts. That's all of my quilts. Well, a little bit of, there's one on my bed, and there is a matching, there's actually two of these, and one's in Levi's room. That's all of my quilts. Some are very old, some are not that old, some are just pretty quilts. So if you can, in the video of all the little snippets of me getting this all ready, I took the door out. I had it done. And I think I said, there it is. It's finished. I don't know what I said anyway. There was still I had my step stool here in front of it, so you couldn't see it really good. But none of the wood had been stained yet. And I showed in that video also of the new hinges. Okay, but they were black. And I got to look at them thinking, I don't like them black. I want it to I need it to be brighter. So I took the door down. I went out and sanded it so you can see the raw wood all the way around. In places, some are heavier than others. And then I painted the hinges white. I painted, these are
actually to the kitchen. I mean, I didn't take them off the kitchen, but I had a couple of extras. The knob and the little background that looks like lace. So I painted, they're black, but I painted them white also. And then I ordered this little hook right here. It just flips up and down, holds it closed. And I am in love. I love it. I did take the shelves out. I had said that I might not take the shelves out, but just that little space of a shelf, and then there were 3, it made a big difference in how many quilts I could fit in each section. So I just took them out and stacked them just like that. It took me a little bit to get them folded to the right width that they would slide in and not interfere with the door at all, but they just look so pretty. It brightens up this corner over here. I built this cabinet to start with because I had this and it looked off center, like I had a little small thing over there. In fact, I think it was my old antique sewing machine. And the scale on this wall was off. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to build a tall cabinet over here that'll be matching the heights on each side of this window. And I did that, and I've been happy with it. But I think I said in the beginning videos that someone had sent me a picture of somebody's gun cabinet that they had taken and, reused it as a quilt cabinet. And I got to thinking, it was funny. And I think I don't know if I said this or not, but I was saying or thinking to myself, it's like birds of a feather, because that same little link had come up on one of my Facebook things and I had saved it. So it was funny that I had saved it and then somebody actually sent it to me also. So I was thinking, I don't have another space in this house for another cabinet. So I'm not going to go out and try to find a gun cabinet. But I knew I had doors. I had this door and I had the other door that had that stuff on it, that plastic peel, stained glass looking stuff. It was too narrow. Even though this is not a wide shelf, that little door was like, I don't even know how to show you, but it was like, that was all of it. So, there would have been no way to fill in. And even if I'd gotten like 1x4s and put one here and one here to make this space in the middle, the width for that one door, that one little glass door, I would have been trying to maneuver my quilts around these things jutting out all the way down. It would have left, I don't know how to explain it, but it wouldn't have been easy. This was the easiest thing to do. Took the original hinges off because they were making it where it wouldn't open all the way. I don't know if y'all can hear that. That's Levi behind me and he's asleep on the couch. He's just snoring. Anyway, trimming it on the outside like this was the only way I could use this door. So instead of putting this trim this way, I had to put it out here and bring it out because this has that lip running around it, so it didn't sit flat. Anyway, it looks good. I'm excited about it. I'm happy with it. It brightens up this corner over here, and I'm just so happy. And just want to another idea for you guys. Maybe you have something already that you can just reuse. Think outside the box. Just like the person that made the original one with a gun cabinet. I didn't have the cabinet anymore, but I had a couple of doors, and I sure made it work, and it looks pretty. So, even Mom today at lunch said, "Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I see all your quilts." And So I'm really happy with it. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. All right. If you can see too that I added some white up here. That speaker thing is just a big black hole right there. And then that's just that wood, the little Wi-Fi thing. So I needed some stuff to brighten it up. So I put some white candles with a creamy color. And then sort of spaced them around. And then there's actually a small one behind those two little, these were only a few dollars. It was a set of two. They're just little wooden blocks shaped like a house, but there's a candle back in there. And when I turn that candle on, it shines through those windows. It looks really pretty. So it's adorable, and I love it, and I hope y'all like it. And I hope y'all look around your house and see something that you might could just change into something else. You never know. All right, love you guys. God bless y'all.